Welcome to Headphone News, Greater New York edition for Monday, December 16, 2024.
Subway service disruption in Brooklyn. An explosion at an electrical substation in Brooklyn, New York, caused major subway delays. Thousands of commuters were stuck in subway cars because of the incident. The cause of the explosion is being investigated. The NYC subway is essential for daily travel, serving millions of riders. Authorities are working hard to restore service and ensure safety. This incident highlights the need to maintain urban infrastructure to support our growing population.
Deyna Castellanos supports young female athletes. Deyna Castellanos, a midfielder for Bay FC in California, is making a significant impact on young female athletes from Venezuela. She founded the Queen Deyna program to provide scholarships and opportunities for girls and young women in sports and education. After studying at Florida State University in the United States, Castellanos is dedicated to creating better chances for female athletes. Her program inspires young women through sports, drawing from her own powerful experiences.
Trump's plan for the U.S. Postal Service. Donald Trump, the president-elect of the United States, is considering turning the U.S. Postal Service into a private company. Since 2007, the Postal Service has lost over $100 billion. For the financial year that ended on September 30, it reported a loss of $9.5 billion, which is $3 billion more than the previous year. Trump discussed this plan with Howard Lutnick, his choice for Commerce Secretary, at Mar-a-Lago in Florida. This change could significantly impact the online shopping industry, especially for major companies like Amazon that rely on the Postal Service for their deliveries.
Novo Holdings completes Catalent purchase. Novo Holdings has completed the purchase of Catalent, a U.S. drug maker, for $16.5 billion. This deal is set to boost the production of Wegovy, a well-known weight loss drug. As part of the agreement, Novo Holdings will sell 3 factories in Italy and Belgium to Novo Nordisk for $11 billion. The deal is expected to be finalized soon.
Trump appoints Devin Nunes as chair of Intelligence Board. U.S. President Donald Trump has named Devin Nunes as the chair of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board. Nunes, a former U.S. lawmaker, is currently the CEO of Truth Social, a social media platform. This position is designed to provide unbiased evaluations of the operations of U.S. intelligence agencies. Nunes previously led the House of Representatives Intelligence Committee during Trump's first term. The announcement was made in Washington, D.C.
Methane emissions from landfills in the U.S. A recent study reveals that landfill sites are significant sources of methane emissions in the United States. Researchers from Carbon Mapper, Arizona State University, and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency examined 217 landfills across 17 states, including California and Arizona. They discovered that about 50% of these landfills released detectable methane. Even those equipped with technology to capture gas still emitted a considerable amount of methane. This research emphasizes the urgent need for improved management of landfill emissions to help address climate change.
Concerns over U.S. tariffs on Canadian exports. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt is worried about possible tariffs from U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. She mentioned that her government is exploring all options to respond, as these tariffs could greatly affect the province's economy. In 2023, over 92% of New Brunswick's exports went to the United States. Holt cautioned that stopping these exports could create major problems for the province. Ontario Premier Doug Ford suggested halting energy shipments to the U.S. as a potential response. Trump has proposed tariffs as high as 25% on Canadian imports, set to begin in January 2025. Canadian leaders are working to show that these tariffs would raise prices for American consumers. This situation highlights how vital trade relations are between Canada and the United States.
U.S. response to cyber espionage from China. On December 15, 2024, Representative Mike Waltz, who serves as the National Security Advisor for President-elect Donald Trump, called for a stronger U.S. response to cyber attacks. This comes after claims against China regarding a spying operation called Salt Typhoon, which targeted senior American political figures. At least 8 telecommunications and infrastructure firms in the United States were impacted, resulting in the theft of substantial data. Waltz stressed the need for the U.S. to punish those responsible for cyber theft. China has denied these claims, asserting they're disinformation. This situation underscores the growing threat of cyber warfare and highlights the importance of collaboration between the U.S. government and private technology companies to enhance national security.
Supreme Court case on TikTok and free speech. A major court case involving TikTok is heading to the United States Supreme Court. This important case raises questions about free speech in the digital world. TikTok, created by the Chinese company ByteDance in 2016, has around 170 million users in the US. There are growing worries about user privacy and national security, especially during the Trump administration. In April 2023, President Biden signed a bipartisan bill that requires TikTok to sell its Chinese ownership or face a ban in the U.S. On December 6, 2023, the U.S. Court of Appeals upheld this law. The Supreme Court will decide if the government's actions violate users' constitutional rights. The outcome could significantly impact not just TikTok but also other tech companies and the future of digital communication in America.
Bitcoin hits new high amid political changes. Bitcoin has reached a peak, exceeding $105,000 during early trading in Asia, particularly in cities like Tokyo and Sydney. The last trading price was about $104,666. This increase comes after Donald Trump's election as President of the United States, where he promised to support cryptocurrencies and may create a fund to hold Bitcoin. Experts believe Bitcoin could reach a target price of $110,000. This rise highlights how political events can influence financial markets and reflects broader trends in technology and finance.
Netanyahu and Trump discuss hostage crisis and regional tensions. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump about the ongoing hostage crisis in Gaza and the situation in Syria. This conversation followed a Hamas attack on October 7, 2023, which resulted in about 1,200 deaths and over 250 hostages taken. Currently, around 100 hostages are still in Gaza. In response, Israeli military operations have led to nearly 45,000 fatalities, mostly among non-combatants, in Gaza. Netanyahu emphasized the urgent need to secure the release of hostages before Trump takes office on January 20, 2025. Efforts involving Egypt, Qatar, and the United States are underway to establish a ceasefire that includes a hostage release. They also discussed Israel's military strikes in Syria, where threats from terrorist groups continue. The situation is very serious, with potential consequences for regional stability and U.S. relations.
Oakland Diocese bankruptcy and sexual abuse claims. On December 16, 2024, many brave individuals shared their experiences in court during the bankruptcy proceedings of the Oakland Diocese in California, United States. The Catholic Church filed for bankruptcy to address nearly 350 claims of sexual abuse against its clergy. These individuals spoke about their painful experiences of childhood sexual assault by priests. Attorney Rick Simons, who represents many of them, highlighted the importance of giving victims a voice in this legal process. The Oakland Diocese proposed a financial settlement ranging from $160 million to $198 million, but some individuals felt this offer was insufficient. This case raises important questions about responsibility within the church and how religious organizations handle abuse claims. As the bankruptcy hearing continues, the outcomes may influence future cases and impact the church's reputation.
Oil prices and economic outlook. Oil prices have decreased from recent highs. Brent crude oil is now at $74.28 per barrel, down by 21 cents. Meanwhile, U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude is priced at $70.99 per barrel, a drop of 30 cents. Investors are expecting a Federal Reserve meeting on December 17 and 18, where a quarter-point interest rate cut is likely. This cut could boost economic growth, but it may also lead to higher oil prices. Current U.S. sanctions on Russia and Iran are affecting oil supply and prices, aiming to reduce oil revenue for these countries. Recent sanctions from the European Union on Russian oil have limited supply. Rising oil prices can increase costs for consumers and businesses, potentially slowing economic growth. The situation is complicated, as the Federal Reserve's decisions will impact future oil prices and the global economy.
2025 Lunar New Year Parade in New York City. On February 16, 2025, New York City will host the 27th Annual Lunar New Year Parade and Festival in Chinatown. The festivities will start at 1 p.m. and are expected to draw many thousands of people. The Lunar New Year marks the beginning of the lunar calendar and is celebrated by various Asian communities around the globe. This vibrant parade will showcase colorful floats, lively bands, and exciting performances that highlight the community's rich cultural traditions. Better Chinatown USA is organizing the event, with support from WABC-TV, a local television station. The celebrations will kick off on January 29, leading up to the parade. 2025 is the year of the snake, which symbolizes wisdom and grace. This event not only celebrates culture but also supports local businesses by increasing the number of visitors in the area.
Stellantis leadership changes amid challenges. Stellantis, the parent company of Fiat and Jeep, is making big changes in leadership after CEO Carlos Tavares resigned on December 1, 2023. John Elkann is now leading a temporary management team to deal with problems like falling sales and a large stock of unsold vehicles. Recently, Ram's sales in the United States dropped by 24%, and Stellantis shares have fallen over 40% this year. Elkann aims to improve connections with dealers and government officials in Italy, where Stellantis is the only major car manufacturer. Meetings are planned with Italian Industry Minister Adolfo Urso to discuss production plans and job security. Additionally, Stellantis will rejoin the European Automobile Manufacturers Association, known as ACEA, to better coordinate with industry regulations. This strategic shift is designed to strengthen Stellantis' position in the changing automotive market.
That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's Headphone News. News summary brought to you by AI.